The years leading up to and during menopause are a rite of passage. The wise woman inside of us is calling to slow down, to take stock, to speak our truth, to burn away all that no longer serves us, ready for our next cycle of life. The good news is, with the support, community, connection, and most of all, sharing our stories and being truly seen and heard, we will travel through this powerful, sometimes painful, heroine's journey and out the other side. Welcome to the Menopause Podcast, real and raw stories of midlife and mental health. I'm your host, Kylie Patchett, menopause self-care coach and storyteller, and I am so glad you found us. Let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the podcast today. I am excited to introduce you to Nikki Parkinson Hubbard, who is one of my very old Sunshine Coast connections. How are you?
I'm so happy to be here, Kylie.
When I say very old, I don't mean you're very old or I'm very old. I mean we've known each other for years.
I do feel very old some days, particularly. But you were one of my first clients at the start of my business journey. So I've been through your wardrobe.
You have, literally. So I was thinking this morning, so your first iteration of Styling You, the business that we'll talk about in the podcast, it was going into people's wardrobes and figuring out what the heck was going on in there and figuring out the key pieces that you needed to kind of bring everything together into some sort of cohesive look and feel that was you. And you went through my wardrobe and I was thinking, I was at Marucci River, so it would have been 2011. It's a long time.
Long time ago.
Wow. Yeah. Congratulations on 15 years in business too.
Thank you.
So let's dive in. So I invited you on the show, not just because we are connected from ages ago, but because I heard you sharing, and I have been on your social media and seen you sharing through your perimenopause journey, some of the, what I would like to say, cluster, whatery, that is perimenopause at times, and particularly around mental health. So now that you are, well, I'm assuming postmenopausal, I'm making a big assumption. Yes. Yeah. When you look back, how would you describe what you went through?
A shit show.
Good. I was going to say clusterfuckery, and I thought, don't put words into your mouth, Kylie.
Let's just go. Particularly, you never know when your last period is going to be.
Yes.
So, because you're not officially postmenopausal until 12 months.
Yes.
After that last period.
Correct.
So definitely in the years leading up to, unless you have a Mirena or some other kind of device or contraception or hormones, then your periods are going to be very erratic and all over the place, either every 2 weeks or you'll go 5 months and you'll go, maybe I'm on the way, Yes. And then next minute, those boobs are so sore and you go, oh my God, am I pregnant? Or no, it's just coming back to tease you. So I probably, in hindsight, about 10 years of perimenopause, and I would say, but the worst in terms of my experience and all of the symptoms kind of coming in together with probably the last couple of years, and particularly that last year. And I likened it the other day to when, if you have a birth where you go through all the stages of birth, it's like that last year for me was like the transition period of giving birth, where it's so intense. You don't know who you are. You don't know what words are coming out of your mouth. If I stood up during a period, it would just all gush out of me.
Yep.
Just a whole lot altogether. And this is 2020, where we all had levels of anxiety, situational anxiety. And I just honestly put it down to all of that. And I now know more about what was going on with the hormones that would have actually exacerbated those feelings at the same time. And even just recently, I have learnt about what is called perimenopausal depression.
Yep.
And it's very different than regular
garden
depression,
variety.
garden variety, in that the treatment is hormones.
Yep.
And not antidepressants, but a lot of women, I wasn't on antidepressants, but a lot of women end up on antidepressants in that perimenopausal year where it should be getting treated with hormones. So there's the great thing that's happening now, and why I speak up, is that the worldwide, I would say the UK is a leader.
Yes.
Worldwide, there is more education, there's more talking about it. There's more health professionals doing more research, and women will be able to ask the questions. They will have the tools to ask the question and get help, because there are still women who will sail through this period. Like, it happens to everybody.
Yes.
Sail through this period beautifully with barely a blimp, like anything in life. But so many of us, because women, we've been taught to just put up and get on with it and soldier on and shut up and everything, that we just think, okay, well, this is just me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm like, oh, and I am in a position at the moment where I've got friends who are like 5, 6 years younger. So they're in the thick of that thing. And one of them just said, I've been putting off going to get a new bra fitting, but I can't do it anymore. She's gone to a G cup. I think she was a C or D. Like, just stuff like that it mightn't seem serious to someone else, but like, that's your body just like taking over and you haven't done anything. It's just like, those bras, G cup bras are not cheap, I can tell you.
Oh my goodness. Having been I think I grew to a K cup during my second pregnancy. So my girls are 12 months apart. So I went from a C to a G-ish, then I went to a K, and then I had surgery, because I was like, me and these enormous gazunkas do not go together. I cannot cope with this. I don't like how I feel not in my body, etc. But like you're saying, I was just talking to someone yesterday, and she's like, oh, she's 47. I met her through something completely outside of, work. So didn't know what I what I do and what I talk about all the time. And she's like, I'm feeling so isolated. I just want to cut myself off from everyone, and I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And I'm like, have you ever heard of perimenopause? Because every single thing that you've just said to me in the first 5 minutes that we've met is like, you could tick every single box. And I think that that's the problem, isn't it? That there's so many, like, chronic stress and perimenopause symptoms are so similar. And also, if you're a person that's, having difficulty sleeping as well, it's like this awful cycle. I love how you said, though, I've never actually heard someone say that about transition in birth. I didn't actually end up having natural births either time. Both were emergencies. But it is kind of like that quickening and intensity that I hear is
before
like
the other side.
Before the other side. And it's like rebirthing ourselves on the other side of this versus, holy dolly. I have felt the intensity is growing, but I'm also getting those little nudges of like, oh, I can almost sense this sense of like peace and clarity on the other side. I might actually just be fooling myself. It might be 5 years away from me, but that sense.
But then again, isn't that great that you can feel that, because that's going to help. That's going to help you through as well. And whether a woman chooses to look at hormone, treatment's not the right word. You're just replacing hormones. You're replacing hormones. I would have done things differently, and I would have sought treatment in my perimenopause years, particularly around very, very, very heavy periods and impossible to keep iron levels. It's just a whole lot of stuff that I could have worked with in the time, and that would have just parked one kind of gym off to the side. And now I just say to people, if you're not feeling well and you want to do something about it, just find someone who will listen.
Correct.
And because you can choose to replace hormones, but there's a lot of lifestyle factors. There's a lot of things that you can help your body with.
Yeah.
But when you're in the thick of it, and your lack of progesterone is stopping you from being able to get a quality sleep.
Yep.
And then
that's where I was.
Piles on.
Yeah.
And then you have all of your your regular stresses, and women in those mid to late 40s generally still have kids at school. They also might be going through their own hormonal changes.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on, and I feel like we've lifted the curtain a bit to allow women to voice that they're not okay, and to ask questions of their health professionals and get support. Whereas I was guilty of just like getting up and getting on with it, and that does no one any good.
No, exactly. And it's almost well, when I look back on my own journey, I ended up with really, really, really bad depression, and it was a combination of like I look at last year when I turned 47. The things that collided was me being in a corporate role that was ill-fitting and high stress. I had 16 and 17-year-old daughters, and particularly the 16-year-old, she and I are the same. So clashing heads. A parent going into care for dementia, and all these things collided. Oh, and I also was diagnosed with ADHD. So there's that identity shift, and then figuring out medication if that's what you want to do, and all of those things. And they all collided. And I went to a friend's place in Sydney around about September, I think, last year. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like I had one of those moments, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make some changes. And so I did, lifestyle stuff, but I didn't realize at the time that I was actually so depressed that I couldn't even see what I could do to help myself.
Yeah.
And adding in HRT, like if I had known how good it was going to be for me personally, and again, like you're saying, some people don't choose to, that's totally fine.
Yep.
For me, it's just allowed me to lift above this awful depression and lack of sleep so that I can actually treat myself better. So I'm like,
so the lifestyle things actually have an impact.
Exactly. And you're doing them because you've got the kind of energy and wherewithal and have had a night's sleep to be able to do them. Because what I was doing was just not sleeping. So then my confidence was going, my, idea of how I even fit into the world was like non-existent, I think, really. Yeah. And I always say it's like a three-legged stool, like my mental health, sleep, and sort of sense of self, it's like one, if one topples, the other two are sort of, and perimenopause created issues with every single one of those. So that was when you did have all of the, the 2020 stresses, obviously with COVID and everything, especially with business, because you're a business owner, it's affecting business. What did you do? Did you end up deciding that you were going to get, like, how, in terms of mental health, what did you choose to do to actually help yourself with that end of things? So I think there's a lot of people that we talk about the physical stuff a lot, but I feel like the mental health thing in menopause is
it still probably has a stigma to it, and that's probably the generation. I don't think the next generation coming through are going to have this at all.
Definitely not.
And I would say it is the most serious symptom of perimenopause. Like there are some women, and it's not a competition, but it sounds like you're worse than the position I was in, but I've even heard very, very, very bad stories.
Horrible.
And horrible because, like you said, they couldn't even see the situation they were in to then seek the help.
Yeah. So
this, I think, is our most important thing going forward in recognizing. And I was speaking at a menopausal retreat in June up in Hamilton Island, and don't sweat at menopause.
Yeah, go Dr. Ginny and Shelley.
So we came away from that. We were all appointed menopause mentors, because while we're not medical professionals, we have some knowledge and we have the words that we can give to people to go and ask for help. Because often it's not having the words to ask, and that is one of the biggest messages. And the stories in that room was just a subset of the wider community. And, I am hopeful that we'll have a change, because it was definitely clear that the mental health aspect of perimenopause is crucial, because you're talking about, if you're a woman in your 40s, you're at the prime of your career, whatever that is, whether it's your own business, whether you are in a corporate job, and suddenly you could be sitting in a meeting and forget what you were going to answer that question with.
Yep. All the time.
There's a lot of, and let alone that feeling of you aren't capable of doing your job anymore because the perimenopausal depression might have taken over. So for me, when you run your own business, you really don't have a choice but keep going on.
Difficult, hey?
But I started seeing a psychologist for the first time, and that was we're 2023, aren't we?
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago.
I know.
3 years ago, I started unpacking a lifetime of bullshit. So it was something that worked for me, but I was definitely open to exploring other things. I didn't know that I could treat with hormones at that time, and the psychology helped. Also, by that point, I didn't know, and you're not officially menopausal, but I had had my last period.
Yeah.
So the worst part was actually this really pointy end.
Yes.
Literally about 3 years to the day from now that I had my last period, and it was really tough. And I don't know if I've had access to sick leave or holiday pay or anything, whether I would have dealt with it differently in terms of being able to rest. I guess we were living in a different world where the world was closer, and that might have been helpful because there wasn't as much on, and that we weren't doing as much. And so I was able to kind of work through it with psychology, the lifestyle stuff, making sure I was moving, doing yoga, just stuff that we all know is good for us.
Yeah, but we may not put into practice.
But we may not into practice
until the wheels fall off. That's definitely.
But I'm just trying to think what I did about my sleep. I feel like I was on some kind of melatonin, and I'm not sure whether it actually was working, because that was the cycle I was in, that 2:30 a.m. wake up, and the anxiety and the heart palpitations and the race, everything that was going on.
Catastrophizing.
You can really forget how the depth of it.
Oh, it's awful. But again, I didn't. I didn't realize how awful it was until I wasn't in it. It was like so bad, but so subtly shifting for me until it was like every night at 2:30.
Yeah.
And then the heart racing and the catastrophizing. And it's awful. Just going down roads of like, what if this happens? And and I'm like, I have never had anxiety before in my entire life. If I'm out of whack, I definitely tend towards that sort of more flat mood. Yeah. And I was just like, who is this person in my head? What is going on? It's crazy.
And meanwhile, you go into the next daylight hours.
Correct.
Sleep deprived. So it is a vicious circle, and it not fun at all. So I went into 2021, and I don't think I actually saw my GP till later that year. And I said, can we just test? And it had gone past the August dateline. Can we just test where we're at? And he's someone I see for my thyroid. So everything just all works together.
Yeah. 100%.
And yes, they came back, they had flatlined. Everything had flatlined. So that you see, was I feeling great with flatline? No. Because the reason why we have hormones in our body. And it's just not, I was not feeling great. The sleep was still not great. There was a whole lot of things. But in my head, I was just buying into this whole, I don't really have hot flushes. Well, I don't. I have night sweats occasionally, but I don't have, but that's everybody. Dr. Ginny actually said, we get hung up on these hot flushes. That is the least worrisome symptom, because literally, if you don't take hormones and your hormones flatline afterwards, your hot flushes will eventually stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the other stuff that can affect you that is a much greater concern.
Yeah.
So I was kind of going, oh, I'm okay. And he said, well, why don't we just give them a try? And then if after a couple of months you just go, haven't felt really difference, we come off it. And I went, okay, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a go, and I'd broken my wrist. So my husband went to pick up a sort of medication, and the pharmacist assistant said, well, she's going to sleep well tonight. And seriously, from that first night, and I think that was the greatest gift, was this sleep.
Yeah.
But I would say that the estrogen part, that was the progesterone part. I'd say the estrogen part definitely, with skin, with brain fog, things like that. I feel like if you can get the sleep, then that helps with much things. Yeah. And the other interesting thing I've learned since the retreat is that you can get your estrogen through different patches or however it is going to be. And but if you want to save your vagina, you need to be doing vaginal estrogen, because none of that other stuff is going to save your vagina. And once it's retreated into a dry self, there is no coming back. There's no like just slap some moisturizer on or some lubricant. No. And you should have seen the collective drop of jaw around the room when this was announced to everybody. We've gone. So there was women in the room who would, on to a second marriage or partner, and they would go and see Dr. Jin, or this was an example, and she'd go, well, I'm really sorry.
But once it's dried up, she said that in our interview as well, because that was actually one of the biggest, like, we covered lots of ground. But one of the big things she's like is, and ladies, get onto the vaginal estrogen, because once it's dried up, you ain't no coming back. I was like, no, because we were like all in shock. Yeah. We were like all in shock, and like, and even if you had estrogen receptive breast cancer, you can have this because it's such a low dose, but it's targeted. And what I also didn't realize in this targeting is that it will help prevent UTIs as well, because it's everything. It's getting estrogen where it's needed. Yeah. So it's a whole lot of stuff, and it's been fascinating. And I listened to Dr. Louise Newson in the UK. Yes. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've heard of her. I reckon she's the leader of the world in this, and she's incredible and just so calming to listen to her voice. And I bought her last book via Audible and downloaded it and listened to it, and just the up-to-date research and the up-to-date anecdotal clinical evidence that she sees daily in her clinic is incredible. So I feel like a lot of women, will be able to access more because there's more information. Yeah. And if you are struggling, then hopefully there'll be more people around you to recognize and kind of lead you in the right way, even if you can't see it yourself. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that was the big missing piece for me, is that I always say, like, it's hilarious. Like, I'm a biologist originally. I didn't even know perimenopause was a thing until literally last January, when it blindsided me. And since then I'm like, why are we not having these conversations? Because without even knowing what all of these things could be, I can't advocate for myself. I'm not educated about my options for treatment or lifestyle factors. I'm not empowered to ask questions if my doctor is not well educated, and I want to, not challenge something that, well, no, let's be honest, I did challenge multiple things. But, forewarned, forearmed, that type of thing. And that's why I think it's so good that we're having these conversations. Can I circle back to something that you just said about when you saw a psychologist and said, start unpacking a lifetime of bullshit? Yeah. So I have a theory about this, and I'll be interested to see if this has been your experience as well. So I had a fair bit of childhood trauma, have been very good at keeping that under the surface for many, many years, with many coping mechanisms, including addiction to busyness, perfectionism, blah, 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 blah. And then you hit perimenopause and your lack of sleep and all of the other clusterfuckery creates an inability to keep it under the surface. And then all that shit comes up. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, definitely. And also that you get to that point where you're giving less F's about everything.
100%.
So the filters weaned off. And I think you also do a bit more self-reflection.
Yes.
And I'm going, like, I knew there were things in my life that had created patterns, beliefs, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, once I started talking to a professional about it, you know, there's always something new to unpack. I'll go
like
to a
box of
session and I'll go, I don't really got anything at the moment. That's not been the case this year, but I don't really got anything at the moment. And next minute, we've uncovered something else. Like,
pass me the Kleenex,
that's their job.
please. Yeah,
that's good. And it, there's two things that are barriers to it. You can't be so deep into the depression or anxiety that you can't find that person.
Yes.
Because you've got to go through the steps, whether it's going to your GP and getting a mental health plan. The first psychologist I got referred to was awful and basically said I didn't have anything to be worried about and sent me on my way after paying $210.
Yep.
And it just made me feel worse. And I ended up going to someone who was a referral, and I would just say, ask friends for recommendations. They're not necessarily going to be a match, but it's a better starting point than a referral from a GP. And I told my GP, I said, please don't send anyone to this person again, because I shouldn't walk out of a session like that not having my feelings validated, for one, but actually feeling worse than when I went in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you're not in the headspace to be like a dog with a bone with it, and I think I was just so determined to find solutions to get to feel better, to be better in this world.
Yeah.
But I still had the wherewithal to be able to do that. And there were periods in my life, earlier in my life, where I didn't have that capacity and no one was there to help me. So I feel like if you're feeling like, oh God, that's going to be a lot of hard work, how am I going to do this? Enlist the trust of someone who, it might be a partner, but it might be a friend, it might be a relative who can help you, even if it's ringing up and making the appointments, if it's doing the asking around, who's going to be good. But if you can just recognize that I'm in the way of this at the moment because I'm just not feeling well enough to do it. And it's not easy. And it's also, even with the Medicare subsidy, it's not cheap. So there's quite a few barriers to that.
Yeah,
which is,
I would agree.
There's a long way to go there too.
Yeah. I had the same experience all through my life. Like, I've known there's significant things that I need to look at with support, but at multiple juncture points, I've seen a psychologist, been referred to someone, and at no time have found that right fit. Once I walked in, and the person that I ended up seeing was like a fresh graduate gentleman, and I was there to talk about juggling full-time caring responsibilities, having 2 young kids and my own business. And I was like, what are you possibly going to be able to offer me? You can know every single theory in the book and be the most beautiful textbook learner, but I'm sorry, I'm like twice your age and you have no, like, there's nothing, no like. Yeah, exactly. No. And so I kind of had a story that was I'm not cut out for psychology until it was patently obvious that I needed some bloody help. And I actually just got a referral from a friend, amazing lady, similar sort of age, and clicked straight away. And I would agree with you that fit is so important. And I think particularly when at a time when you're feeling very vulnerable and not yourself, like, the fit, it has to do help, not harm. And sometimes it is harmful if it's not the right fit, because you do walk away feeling like, I should just be able to suck it up and get on with it, or whatever the story is, which is not helpful at all. When you think now back through, when you say you had like a 10-year experience, I think that's part of the problem, isn't it? Is that all these things are happening, but we're not actually kind of putting it down to potentially this hormonal roller coaster change.
Yeah, I think next generation's coming forward. If they're in their 40s, I think that there's going to be increasingly more information, and they might go, "Hey, I did hear something about that."
Yeah.
And at the menopause retreat, there was a woman who went through early menopause in her 30s.
Yeah.
So I think that's also what's going to be great, is that women can go, "Oh, hang on, I am only 38, but maybe this is happening."
Yeah.
And also, if you don't get the answers first time around, and find someone else.
Yeah.
And that again takes a bit of a dog with bone attitude to it. But what I've learned previously before peri and menopause is that with my thyroid condition that I've had since 30, since I was 30, diagnosed at 30, is that no one else is going to advocate for your health but you. So somehow you need to be able to do that, or you need to enlist people to help you help you.
Yeah.
And that can take, that's a whole range of things. That's however you want to be, whether it's through the health system, whether it is lifestyle, whether it's incorporating a little bit of woo-woo into the whole picture of it. Then I don't know. I think that set me up. Like, I've lived with not 100% health my entire life. And it's nothing that anyone sees, because I just look like a normal person. But, I might have to take myself off to bed with the computer at some point, just to get through the day, because I don't have sick leave and I run my own business. And so I'm used to kind of just going, okay, this isn't the right thing for me. Who can I seek out to help me with this? And it's a hard thing, because so many symptoms of peri can be put down to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But my bigger message is that you shouldn't put up with any niggling anything, because it could be something even more serious than peri or menopause. And as women going forward, we need to not maintain this soldier on, don't think anything's happening, don't complain.
Yeah. Not helpful.
We have to do that for the next generation.
Agreed.
Going forward, and future generations, because men would not put up with half of this stuff. They would be screaming and shouting. There'd be protests in the streets. But somehow we have just been told our entire lives, because our mothers and the mothers before them were told, you just go on with it. Yeah. Everyone goes through menopause. It's like, well, why do I have to feel this way? And this is really bad stuff that's happening to me potentially. So I don't know where I was rambling with that one.
No.
In a crux, you have to advocate for yourself.
Yes.
And a niggle that doesn't go away
is not a niggle. Exactly.
Not a niggle. No.
I'm reading a really interesting book called The Upgrade by, and I can never remember this lady's last name. Anyway, it's called The Upgrade. It's about the neurobiology, of how our brains change. And she talks a lot about how the brain is wired, and particularly if you're a mum. So as you're pregnant, the brain very, very much puts energy towards forming networks for caretaking, protection of youngsters, etc. And part of the neurobiology that happens as we hit really the beginnings of perimenopause, as soon as the hormones start to change, because it's the ovarian to brain conversation, that we actually start shifting to have less of those structures in the brain and more of the like taking care of self better, but also seeing the needs of the world. So it's like we've gone from our little nest of people to like a community thing. And it's interesting when she talks about the female brain, how much our brains are wired to caretake, and that by definition means don't take care of self. Like, you know, and so I think that there's two parts to that. Behaviorally, we haven't seen, or I haven't seen, and most of the people I work with haven't seen a mother that takes care of herself, or a grandmother who takes, you know, like we've got no sort of reference points, which is luckily changing rapidly. But I also think that there's a part of that we are very much wired to be the ones that are, you know, juggling the caretaking responsibilities. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm interested to hear because you've got a daughter, the beautiful Alex, when you talk about, or what would you be saying to her about menopause? What's she learned through your journey that will hopefully give her a heads up?
I don't know how much they take in, but I just talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like in your 20s. You just go, oh, that's
you're invincible. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Not even that. But I feel like it's just my job to talk about it, and any treatment I might be getting, or any lifestyle changes I might be making, and what's happened, and even through perimenopause when I couldn't keep iron, I couldn't store iron. I've had infusions and that sort of thing. And she's already having those kind of problems now. And I just nagged her and I said, you know, you need to do something. This is serious. And like, you can't, then they're adults, so you can't drag them off.
Yeah, of course not. Unfortunately.
Because I didn't have it at her age. I didn't have the problem with very heavy periods or anything at her age. And you just, it's all of those things that I can share, and just share what I do. You can't make anybody look at things differently.
No, definitely
but I don't want that culture of just putting up with stuff to continue. And it's not about, you know, being a hypochondriac or anything like that. It's literally, if there's something not right in the way your body is working, then seek answers.
Yeah.
And seek options.
And you're the one that knows your body the best. Yeah. So don't ignore your own inner knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly
or
if it's
just call it or call it normal.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, periods were not talked about.
No.
Pretty much. I don't know, when I was growing up, it was like oof,
oh no one.
The more we talk about them, the more we normalize it. It's just it's a female bodily function. It's got a function. And so somehow young women can ascertain whether their period is normal or it's not.
Yes.
Because that's an indication of hormonal imbalance as well. Often. So there's a lot there. And I think it's just talking about it. Like, there's no use advising on menopause to her for two reasons. Got no relevance to her life right now, but also in 25 years time, when she's in the thick of it,
who knows what will be going on,
what will be available, in terms of treatment, in terms of education,
definitely
that sort of thing.
I want to shift our conversation to styling you the label, because I really wanted to include in our conversation women's relationship with their bodies as they change through menopause, because you know, as we've just talked about, I was one of your very early clients, and I've watched you start. How old is the actual label? Because I know 15 years in business, but
the label is 4.5 years old.
4.5, I was going to say 5. So can you share with our audience, if they don't know you already, what is the label based on, and also about the size ranges and everybody that you include in the label? Hey gorgeous, we interrupt this gold for a delicious invitation. If your whole body has been whispering more lately, more voice, more truth, more satisfaction, more clients, of the soulmate variety. More cash, more you, then this invitation is for you. Potent, my sister mind is officially open. This is my high touch, holy fuck, I'm ready sister mind for rebels in good girl clothing who are done outsourcing their power and diluting their magic to fit into someone else's business formula. If you have been craving a space where your strategy, your voice, and your energy all get to be offered, honored, refined, and amplified, this is it. Inside of Potent, you'll get my eyes on your business every single week, copy mentoring, and that is for brand copy and content storytelling that turns your truth into client catnip, energetic recalibration that helps you unhook old, learned limitation patterns, keeping you quiet, not being seen, not being heard. Real-time, high-touch, one-on-one coaching that actually sees the bigness of your vision, and the kind of sisterhood that does not flinch when you show up in your full, messy, brilliant, phoenix rising from the ashes glory. This isn't surface level support. It's deep, potent, paradigm shifting work that changes who you are as a woman in business and a woman in life. We start in August. Early open access is open right now. For the month of June 2025, inside of this early access open doors period, you will receive juicy bonuses, extended payment plans, and access immediately to my entire library of storytelling gold. You'll find all the juicy details at kyliepatchett.com/potent. And we fill spaces, and there's only 10 of them, and more than likely only 5 by the time you listen to this, because by that time I will have offered them to the existing cohort, the beautiful original OG circle. We do actually take applications on a first come, first served basis. So come and apply, and let's get back to the magic of the episode.
So everything I was doing in my online platforms was to change up the way that fashion is marketed to women in general. But, you know, I started it all when I was early 40s, and then now I'm 56.
Yeah.
And age diversity is a thing too. And mostly born out of my own personal frustration that you'd only ever see one body type wearing designs, whether it was back in the olden days, magazines or a campaign image in a store. And then when I did personal styling clients for the first 2 years of the business, 4 years, 4 years. Yeah, up almost 4 years.
Yeah.
That was the biggest insight that I could have had, because you were one of my clients, but I saw women in every age, shape, background, budget.
Yeah.
Every single woman had issues with her body. And the biggest eye-opener for me was taking a size 4 triathlete shopping and had to witness her not being okay with her body that does this amazing physical thing.
Yep.
And I went, okay, I get it now.
This is universal.
Generally, you are never happy, 100% happy with every part of your body, which strangely made me happier with mine, because you went, okay, so the goal can never be, oh, I just 100% love everything about my body.
Because we're chasing
that's unrealistic.
Correct, yes.
We're chasing something
that doesn't exist.
Number one, we're chasing an ideal, very subjective. Number two, there's such a big genetic component.
Yeah.
Number three.
Well, and the fashions of bodies, like at the moment, the big booty is in style. And I'm like, man, if I was a teenager now, I would be rocking it, because that is my ass is part of my shape. But, you know, years ago it was
body shape shouldn't be trends. That's
ridiculous.
That's a bit bigger conversation.
Yes.
But I always loved clothes, and I loved the power that they can have in making you feel confident
Yes.
and showing your personality to the world.
Yep.
So through my online platforms, having worked with 150 different women, I kind of had this idea that, okay, so if you can't visualize that outfit that you see in a campaign image in the store on you, how can I show it? So it started very basically with me showing garments on me as opposed to the model.
Yes.
And this was at a time when online shopping was only just beginning. And definitely in the early days of online shopping, there was only ever one body type.
Yep.
I am so thankful that there are so many more brands shooting on, at least even big brands shooting on at least one other body type. And then when it came to my own label, I thought, you know what would be really good? That we blow that up even more. And so up until now, we've photographed on every size that we stock, which is 6 to 20. But more than the size, it's showcasing different shapes. So even if a brand shoots on a different model, they're generally still tall and they're still the traditional hourglass figure shape. So most people don't fall into that category.
No.
And
that's
so
shorties.
Again, hard to visualize. So we purposely have different heights of people so that you can see where a dress might fall on your height or similar to your height. And obviously that is great for shopping with online confidence, but it's about that whole you can't be what you can't see. So I want women coming to our site, customers, to feel welcome. I want them to feel welcome to be in our clothes. You'd be amazed at the number of brands who literally are horrified that you're wearing their clothes, that you deign because you don't fit their aesthetic. And that is still going on. It is very much a thing. And it's just nuts. I'm going, how are you even making any money? Like, seriously? But that's probably the least of my worries about it all. But just women, we have to get up. Unfortunately, we have to get dressed. and all of us have something that we've got to do that day. Whether you are caring for parents or kids or you're going to an office or you're working from home. Your clothes can help you through that if they are you. But if you can't see what you want to look like in clothes, then it's a brick wall. Because, I've been obsessed with fashion in my entire life, but that's generally not everybody. We want people to arrive at our website and on our social media and go, oh, this is great. I feel seen. I can see myself in that. I can see that she is a size 16. And she's this height. And oh my goodness, that's very similar measurements to me. I've got confidence to give that a try and do that. The other thing that we have done from the start is cut for curves. To explain that, most fashion labels will do all their sampling and their pattern making on a size 6 or 8 with no curves, no boobs, no bums, no booty, no hip, no tummy. Again, such a small percentage of the population has that particular body shape. So what they do when they go up sizes is that they just make it larger. They don't make it larger. I'm using my hand to make the shape of a woman.
We're doing curvy figures.
To accommodate the boobs. So that is what goes into every design that we release as well. So and it's funny, my psychologist has become a customer. And she's a woman in she's turned 70 this year, but she always dresses really lovely. And she went, what is really good about what you do? Do clothes for odd shapes.
For odd shapes, normal shapes.
I think I can include that in my marketing, but I totally get what you're talking about, because what happens is if you don't fit that straight up and down tall pattern, then the fit of a lot of things is never going to feel right for you, particularly if there's no stretch in the garment. The fit will not be right. So I'm going to explain my own body and why it's an odd shape. Not an odd shape, it's just a shape, but I just was laughing at what she said, because it actually made so much sense what she said.
I love it.
I don't have a super defined waist. Like, it goes in a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But my hips are bigger. I wouldn't even call myself a pear shape because the bust and everything's quite well. So what happens when you go to buy a pair of non-stretch jeans and a non-stretch tailored pants is that I need the size for across my hip, but then a straight size label without any stretch or elastic or anything.
Yeah.
Their waist measurement is it's like an hourglass defined waist measurement.
Yeah.
So I can never get done up. So if I buy to fit my waist, then I've lost all shape in the legs and around the hips. So, and the same in shirt, you have a bust.
Yes.
And then you go and you have hips.
Yeah.
So what are you buying? You're buying so it doesn't gape at the bust.
Yes.
So are you just ending up with this boxy thing?
Yeah.
No.
Like a moo-moo.
We build the shape. We build the shape into it.
Yes.
Without clinging, and that's design, and that is doing those cuts so that when women put them on, they go, "Oh my goodness, I haven't worn a button-down shirt for forever because nothing has ever worked and it just doesn't fit properly." I haven't. One person said, "I have never been able to find a pair of work pants that aren't basically track pants." So these are the things that I've worked on. So it's the culmination of all of the years in business and working with different women's body shapes and types and their pain points to understand what is it that we can do here, so that we're not just offering more clothes into the universe. We want women to not have to double think every time they get up every morning, especially that Monday to Friday where you just want to make it easy. To get through the day. So that's a lot of stuff that goes into all of that. And ultimately, the best feedback we get is that we make their life easier.
And also, and we were just talking about this before we started recording, from our personal shopping trip, I've still got key pieces that we chose that day that are still in my wardrobe more than a decade later. And what I love about what you do in Styling You TheLabel is the same sort of thing. So they're key pieces that you build your wardrobe on. I have got a really good story of an example of what you're saying. I've got a group of friends. We call ourselves the Lumpy Ladies because we have lumps in all. That's an old name from forensic days. Anyway, there's 5 of us, but 4 at this occasion. And I had a pair of your Susie jogger pants that I've had since the very first time that I think they're like 4 years in, aren't they? Or 3? Quite
they were
early.
2020, 2020, 21, 22, 4 that we
so there you go, 4 years almost. And with one of the girls, she's very into fashion, always has been, and she was just talking about, she's like, "Oh, I found this label," and I'm like, so that we're on your website, and I'm like, "I think I've got the pants here." So of the 4 of us, I'm kind of medium height and was hourglassy, but now with menopause, I've got a belly as well. Then there's another girl who's got like basically no bum, an apple shape sort of thing, actually 2 apple shape, and then one that is quite tall and long limbed, but has hips and has boobs. And I got them out, and because they've got elasticized waist and they're cut beautifully on a curve, they fit every single one of us. And so all of them got online and ordered some. But that's a perfect example. We are quite different body shapes, but because
every woman, like most women, are so different in shape from the next woman. And I jump on threads every so often about getting some standardized sizing. And I just want to scream, there's not a standardized woman shape. Whereas with men, they are up and down. And yes, they might develop a
belly,
a beer gut or something like that, but they can still wear the same size pants.
Correct.
They just wear it under their gut.
Yeah, exactly.
With women, we've got so many more variables. With our body, whether it's changed or how we've always been. the standardized sizing is just not a thing unless you're one particular body type
Yes.
and shape, and that doesn't just uniformly go up the size from that shape. And that's what I kind of go,
this is one of my bugbears.
no, I'm just this size everywhere.
Yeah.
But no one would be. No one would be.
No.
Well, sorry, a small percentage of the population would be.
Yeah. Definitely. I was thinking about when you were first in business compared to now, with so 4.5 years on, how do you look back now and go, oh my goodness, I was not realizing how complicated this was? Or like, what would you be saying to yourself? I know we can't go back. This is a ridiculous hypothetical question, but I'm interested, when you think about creating a label, what would be the key things that you maybe didn't see or
COVID?
Yeah, well, huge curveball.
So we were only in business a year before that. So every step of this subset business of my business life has been tough, and that hit me in the butt again this year. Probably more than COVID, in terms of the economic uncertainty, and when you have a product-based business, you are ordering in advance.
Yes.
So say for everything this year, I ordered when I think there'd been one interest rate rise. So really maybe top economists would have had no idea, but you've got to go, well, if I don't order any units, then I don't have a business.
Correct.
So if I overorder, then you're sitting on a lot of stock. So hot tip, everybody, the reason why every retailer is on massive sales is that everybody didn't predict. We were on a thing, okay, we're out of COVID. It's going to
things will get
up.
better. Yeah.
Things will get better.
Yeah.
So this has been a tougher year, and I'm very honest about to fellow business people, because and then it might not be the case, and different businesses, and definitely your travel service businesses and stuff are booming, and rightly so. They had a really, really tough time. But anybody doing discretionary spend products or services not so bad. Yes, your cash flow is going to be down, but you haven't got skin in the game in terms of buying product.
The
cost of the product and the lead time for ordering that product and guessing what's going to be right. It has been toughest, and it has taken a toll on my mental health again. And I'm grateful that all those things in 2020, the psychologist, all the toolkit stuff, just getting out and walking, putting on my yoga program, like all of that stuff to get through. And thank goodness I'm on the hormones, because I don't even know what would be happening without that. But for me, this has been the nearest to burnout in the whole time that I've been in business. And I'm very conscious of it, and I'm very protective of myself with that. And that's the other thing, men in business at the moment will say, oh, it's just the economy. I can't do anything about it. We rationally know that, but somehow we still internalize it and go, oh, it must be me.
No.
Yeah. So it's hard. And I'm realistic. Our household budget has changed. So, I understand it. I'm very grateful. I have a loyal, beautiful customer base.
Yeah, you do.
Who come back. But they are spending less.
Yes.
I get it. And hopefully over the next 12 to 18 months, I can kind of get that right balance of enough product, not too much, and remove that stress out of it about carrying it all.
Too much stock. Oh, that is a lot, isn't it? One thing I wanted to bring together, I think one of the things that when I wasn't able to come to your 15th celebrations just recently in business, and I was looking at all of because I know like a lot of the people in the photos I know from Sunny Coast, and it was just a beautiful example of and you talk about this a lot on your social media, that, you know, small businesses take a village to run, a community to be behind them, and to see those photos. And also the other thing that stood out for me, because you've got these beautiful garments that have the glitter, like, you know, not glitter, that's not the right word.
Yeah, sequins.
Thank you. Not glitter, but these beautiful pieces that are still stretched, but you can wear them to these occasions. And so many of the photos were your community in those garments in all different shapes and sizes. And I was just like, this is just like the perfect capture of what it does take to be behind a business. So here's to many, many more years without any curveballs. Let's put that out there.
Well, I think there's always going to be curveballs, and that's
less high curveballs.
And you've got to have your toolkit. You've got to know where to who you need to, who and what you need to access to help you through.
Yeah.
And it's just looking after and advocating for your own physical and mental health during that, whatever it is, whether it's a business or whether it's your workplace. And I also remembering I'm 56. Like I'm not a 20-year-old trying to scale and run the world. You know,
exactly.
It's okay. It's okay to create limits and boundaries, and and if you are in business for yourself, create one that suits you and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You're still going to have the curveballs, but if it's true to who you are, then and you feel like you're doing more than just selling something, which is what I do. I feel like I'm helping women to feel good at particularly 40 and over, to feel good in themselves. Then that's what keeps you going. The rest of it, you've just got to ride.
Part and parcel of it.
Part and parcel.
Yeah. I feel like because I've been in business before and then went back to corporate and now in business again. And I think my biggest invitation to myself is this concept of enoughness, because the first time I definitely was in that scale and conquer and, you know, grow and blah, blah, blah. And what I did was create a completely unsustainable business for myself. And this time I'm just like, I just want to be able to marinate in the bits of my life that I really enjoy and have enough of the purposeful work that I enjoy with clients that I enjoy, enough income and not too much responsibility. So I've been saying no a lot more. And I think that that's potentially part of the perimenopause gift, is that when you don't have as much bandwidth, you have to be more discerning, which is a good thing.
Yeah. And I feel like we also have to give permission to women to be okay with creating that sustainable business model that fits their lifestyle. Like, that's not for everybody, and there are definitely women out there who enjoy the build and the scale and the selling. But I feel like for the last 20 years, the whole girl boss, bigger is better thing has been sold to everybody, when we're not all the same. So it's okay to scale down. It's okay to have a life.
Yes.
And it's okay to put your health first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And that's why I quite often will have people, you know, moving appointments or whatever. And I'm always, as long as there's notice, obviously, but always, yes, if your plate's too full, like that was one of the things I did earlier this year when I really hit a wall, and I was like, right, I need to clear my calendar for 3 weeks. And I'm very, grateful that I can do that. And I understand that's not everybody's reality. But I think as much as we can, we need to say no when we cannot take any more on, because as you keep on saying, you know, if we don't advocate for ourselves, if we don't take care of ourselves, no one else is going to swoop in and do it for us.
No one else swoops in. No. Wouldn't it be wonderful? You just had this, like, literally you had the fairy godmother who swooped in. Not to go to the ball. No, I want to stay home.
No, I want to stay home.
Yeah, please put my slippers and my dressing gown on and put a good show on Netflix. And
100%.
That's my version of a fairy godmother. Make me a cup of tea.
Yep. I actually, with the group of friends I was just talking about, we always say that all of us need a wife. Like we need someone to take care of us the way that a wife takes care of everybody. Yeah. But apparently haven't found one yet. So anyway.
No, my girlfriends joke that we'll retire and have our commune, and then we'll allow the partners to come and do visits.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it's just a girl commune with optional one-day access to grandkids if there is any. It has been a pleasure to reconnect. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, and thank you for always being very open and transparent with your own journey, because as we've talked about, if we're having these conversations, hopefully more people will be educated and empowered and be able to advocate for themselves. And as you suggested, I think that's a really good tip. If you can't do that for yourself and you at least identify that, it may not be a partner, it may be a friend, it may be, someone that you see as someone who's gone through menopause and kept their sanity reasonably intact. Reach out and ask them, because I guarantee that all of us sisters out there would be very happy to do the supporting. So, yeah. Thanks, Nikki.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kylie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening into today's episode. If you love the show, as I hope you do, please take the time to subscribe on your favourite pod listening platform and rate and review. And for bonus points, if you have a friend or someone who popped to mind as you were listening to this episode, why not hit the share link wherever you're listening and send them a little love bomb. Like, listen to this. Did you know this is normal? I really, really, really would love to get these beautiful stories into the hearts and ears and minds of so many more midlife mavens. And your help spreading the love is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm Kylie Patchett, your host, and have a spectacular day.